All right, congratulations. That was one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It has to be a horror movie because the first guy from the bunch who's get killed is the black guy.
You know what? I brought that up.
I have a problem with it.
I said that, and then they said that we couldn't change it because of the book. But that was definitely something. I don't know if I can bring that up as a white girl, but I did.
Well, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it anyway. The thing is, like, I mean, you declared that you guys are now friends, and I know, like, you know, professionally, there's nothing to worry about. The two of you will be on the moon, Journey 3, Independence Day 2. You soon to be seen. Enjoy. Looking forward to that.
Space. Oh,
so is this world premiere here in Berlin with all the junkets? Is it kind of your prom then?
It's pretty great being in Berlin. This is definitely one of our favourite cities. This is where we ended up the whole thing, and yeah, we love it. We had a great time here.
I mean, I
It's a
got drunk in a
graduation
limo
party to
with
me.
2 boys, so I guess it is kind of like
It's a prom.
Yeah.
There's no corsage.
No. And no sex.
Or boutonniere.
Sorry.
Good to know. The thing is, like, I've been born and raised in that city. I think you did a great job by using all these areas, which I was like surprised how well you've been using them. But the thing is, like, I didn't really get anything. I just met like Woody Harrelson once, like in a pool at Soho House. Talked to him like, hey, great to see you, White McKinnon, love you.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get that you guys were here. Is it that you were pretty much like invisible? You could like move around just like as you wished here in Berlin?
It was pretty cool, yeah. I mean, we rode bikes around the city. We went to like the parks. We went out to dinner, and I don't know, we didn't have much of attention. It was
Yeah, I think we
nice.
ride with a lower entourage when we're in Europe, and people care less about us, so we're able to
it's weird. Like, there's not many
keep a little
jobs in the world where you're like, people care less about me, so I like it. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever.
And also, Jen, you mentioned that, like, you know, you expect like in your lifespan that one day this whole thing would be rewound with like better looking and a better actor and so on and so on. But could you imagine that the three of you might come back, just like it's like the case in Star Wars, where Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher are coming back as the elder cast members? Would that be an option right now that you would think of?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I speak for myself, but I think if, like, you know, Suzanne created some more story and wanted us to be a part of it, I would do it. What?
Oh no, it wasn't about you. It wasn't. It was.
Well, it seemed like a secret between the two of you.
No.
I didn't hear what she said, so don't worry.
Okay, great. What about you guys?
I
Would you?
said Spottabell.
Oh, I'm trying.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
trying.
I would do it. I don't know. I'm sorry. I think I would do it. I would love to. I love Katniss. I don't want to say goodbye to Katniss.
Yeah. It would have to
Now, if
depend
you don't
on
say
Suzanne
yes, you're gonna
Collins.
look like a
well, no,
dick.
just I said it would depend on Suzanne Collins. If she continued it, then then sure, and we're all on board. Then I'd be on board too. You know, I'd be there as well. I'd love to come back and work with you guys.
Thank you, Liam.
Yeah.
Well, especially for you, Liam. I mean, I just felt like this was like the best part for you because we get to see more of you. So you must be like the one saying like, "God damn it," you know. I mean, except for the end.
Probably why this one's the best one.
Probably.
It makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? No one else has actually
Our
picked
movie
that up
plus more
yet.
Liam equals better movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying
good
this is the
equation.
best one.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's scientific.
So you think you're still going to be like the likable guy in that part?
I don't. He's not so likable anymore. Well, I mean, look, he has good.
It's all about perspective.
Has good intentions, but I think sort of makes the wrong decision. Yeah. Loses a bit of his own morals, and I think what is you cut me off?
No, she's going to cut me off. That's why.
What is right and wrong? I think he loses sight of that. Yeah.
All right, then. Thank you so much for having me here. Enjoy your premiere here in Berlin, and don't get beyond bikes because I'm a car driver, and it really sucks like having people on bikes in the city.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
You got it.
Take care.
Thanks.
I totally forgot what I wanted to say. As I said, I just came back from the interview with Donald Sutherland, and it's quite impressive. But you know what? I was also very, very impressed with your previous work. Like I remember the first time that I saw Constantine, I was like a bit disappointed. But ever since I couldn't stop watching it over and over again. And I must say, this is seriously one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, great!
And that's why Tilda Swinton even called me like, "You must be a movie nerd." It's like I take that as a compliment. So great job on that one.
Thank you.
And I must say I was very pleased with the outcome of the Hunger Games. I have to say, give you credit for that one. Especially like shooting here in Berlin. I mean, I'm a born and raised Berliner, so seeing all these scenes, I was quite amazed of the visuals that you've been working on. And I recall you saying that you really like to work on visual parts. That kind of reminded me of Ridley Scott. Are there any similarities to his work?
You mean my work with his work?
No, not his work, but just like because as he's coming from the commercial part,
Sure.
he knows like how to sell. And he's like, well, movies is a visual medium, so of course you really have
Yeah,
to
no,
go for
I mean
that.
that's what I've always thought. I mean, for me, that's half the fun of movies. I mean, obviously I love storytelling and working with actors, but I think half of it is the visual side of it. It's part of how I have fun and stay enthusiastic about stories, and building worlds. So whether it's Constantine or I Am Legend or these movies, figuring out how to build the worlds is really fun.
I mean, listening to all the interviews before, it really seems that you guys had a great time. And it's apparently also like Josh, Liam, and Jen are considering themselves as friends,
Yeah.
which is great for the chemistry on set. But was it always great for you as a director? So whenever there was kind of a disagreement that you would have to work against them as a front, or was that never the case?
No, that was never the case. And in fact, I think that, they're very close, but I think everybody's close. All the actors were close with one another. I was close with them. So the relationship was great and it was very collaborative. So there was never a thing where I felt ganged up on by them as a group ever. No, it was always a great working relationship.
Something I have to take from the interview that I just had with Sutherland, where he said, like, the reason why he wanted to be part of is because he feels like that the young generation these days is not really taking part in or any kind of interest in what used to be in the past, like politically and in the system, and it could turn out to be something like in the Hunger Games. Do you think that this movie is really helping like a generation just to reconsider in which way they're living, especially when it comes to media, because media is also like having a huge part in that process? Or do you feel like maybe they might not have a chance because there's so much going on in that movie that they might forget about the cause itself? Because the end was quite amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, ideally, these movies get people to think. I mean, you look at, around the time the last film came out, and when we were working on the last film, you would see elements of the stories creep into the real world. In Ferguson, in the United States, you would see slogans, "If we burn, you burn with us." People spray painting this on the sides of buildings. And you see in Thailand, kids protesting with the three-finger salute and then being arrested for it and having that symbol be outlawed. And so you see real things happening and people protesting and people using some of the language from the movies. That may happen. Ideally, these movies get people to think, but I think ideally they get them to think about many things. And one of the things for me that's really specific about them is that, even if revolution is needed or war is needed, that there's going to be consequence. And that's a scary thing. And people really need to think and be careful and be very, very clear what kind of side they're fighting for and that they have all the information. And that's one of the big takeaways of these movies for me.
I mean, a big thing lately in Hollywood is about the equality between like men and women, pay-wise. But I feel like that, especially this movie, although that there's a male director, it really is kind of representing the zeitgeist because it's not about like, she's not like the mistress in distress or
Sure.
She's really like her own character, a very strong character. Do you feel like this is also contributing to this movement and also like?
I hope so. I mean, I think that I think that unfortunately Hollywood is a little fear-based, and so when you have a series like this that is successful, and ideally this continues to be successful, then I think people become less afraid to make films with female leads. And so if it can help that, then that's great. So it would be great to see more stories about women and more stories made by women.
And the last one would be, do you see a chance that this could also turn into like a show, but a TV show, but more on the level of a true detective type of show than a Constantine type of show? Because it didn't really do great honor to the great movie of yours. So would you see something like this like coming as a TV show as well?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, these were various stories, but they had a clear beginning and a clear end, the stories that Suzanne Collins created. So, I mean, unless she comes up with something else that's in the world, I can't see it happening.
All right, then thank you so much.
Thank you.
Wow. Is there at least something that you can spoiler if something has been written down before?
About what?
About the movie? Whatever we say about it, is it the spoiler if it has been written down before?
No, it is, because there's a lot of people that see the movies that haven't read the books.
I agree with that. Great movie. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Ich habe dich beobachtet. Und du beobachtest mich. Meine liebe Miss Everdeen, du darfst dich nicht täuschen. Das Spiel ist bald zu Ende.
Zum ersten Mal in unserem Leben stehen wir als 13 Distrikte Seite an Seite. Unsere Zukunft beginnt morgen bei Tagesanbruch, wenn wir gemeinsam ins Kapitol marschieren. Um uns aufzuhalten, errichtet Präsident Snow ein Minenfeld aus Fallen. Mit den perfiden Erfindungen der Spielemacher macht er sich einen Sport daraus, uns zu töten.
Ladies und Gentlemen, willkommen zu den 76. Hungerspielen.
Wir haben nur einen Versuch.
Nutzen wir ihn.
Nichts wird sich ändern, solange er am Leben ist. Snow muss für das bezahlen, was er getan hat.
Unser Leben hat niemals uns gehört. Es hat Snow gehört, so wie unser Tod. Aber wenn du ihn tötest, Katniss, wenn du all dem ein Ende setzt, dann sind die vielen Tode nicht umsonst gewesen.
Heute Nacht! Richtet eure Waffen auf das Kapitol! Richtet eure Waffen auf Snow!